Don't choose the wrong neighborhood. If you're moving to Dallas, make sure that you don't choose the wrong neighborhood because there are so many to choose from. So today, we are comparing two of the best neighborhoods in Dallas. We're talking about Windsong Ranch and comparing that to Canyon Falls. Now, the good news is, in this case, you really can't go wrong. It's really just a matter of choosing the best neighborhood. So we're gonna walk you through it.
Hey everyone, I am so glad you're watching this. You are probably watching it and thinking about you're moving to Dallas, Texas. So right now we just want to tell you that's an amazing decision. Dallas, Texas is an awesome place to live, but it can be overwhelming on making choices.
So we got your hosts here, Brian and Tisha White. We're real estate experts and we have been here for a long time. And before we go too much farther, we do want to let you guys know, obviously we have a lot of fun and we do this each and every week. So be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss one of our updates and you get a heads up the next time that we're going live. Yeah, so today we're talking about two of the best neighborhoods in Dallas. You know what, particularly in the last few years, there have been so many amazing neighborhoods that are popping up, and they're doing that, they're popping up in McKinney and in Northlake and in Prosper, and now Salina is actually the fastest growing new construction area in the country. But today we're talking about two fantastic neighborhoods in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And those are Windsong Ranch and Canyon Falls. And we're gonna compare the two and we're gonna share some pros and talk about maybe a few of the drawbacks of those neighborhoods. So are you ready to get into it?
Let's dive on in. Windsong Ranch, let's start with that neighborhood.
All right, Tisha, so why don't you start? Tell us, what do you love about Windsong Ranch?
So many things. I love Windsong Ranch. It is such a beautiful neighborhood. I wish I could live in like 5 different neighborhoods at the same time. It is absolutely fabulous. It's a huge master plan community. Absolutely beautiful. It has about 30 miles of trails woven in to the neighborhood, which I think is so great. It is really beautiful. I mean, it is so well thought out, from each street and the parks that they did in there. They have tennis courts, water park area, just really beautiful upon driving into it. And Brian, why don't you tell us about, they have some awesome builders, right? They have really good selections.
Yeah, so Windsong Ranch is awesome. One of the things that we love about it is because there are 3,300 homes. I mean, 3,300 homes in Windsong Ranch. So, what that allows is it allows a lot of diversity. It allows a lot of diversity in price points and lot sizes and builder sizes, and there are a ton of builders, right? So there's everything from single family kind of townhome type product all the way up to large lot custom homes. So we got everything from Grenadier Homes. There's Drees and Shattuck is building a couple of different types of products there. Belle Claire Homes, as well as American Legend. So what a lot of people don't know is Belle Claire is actually the big sister kind of luxury brand to American Legend. So a little bit like Huntington Homes is the luxury arm of Highland Homes, Belle Claire is the luxury division of American Legend. So that's pretty great. And then Tradition's kind of building a little bit of a modern flair. Their homes are very different from at least what we have seen built in North Texas. So that's exciting, and to see that in a master plan community. And then just wrapping that up with Southgate. Southgate is another one that's kind of been building more of the craftsman to modern style homes over the last couple of years. Man, they build a great home. Those are super exciting to see.
Yeah, if I could jump in, the fun thing about these master plan communities is because there are so many builders, you can pop into model homes and get a real good feel for the product of the houses. Shattuck has some over there that really I can pop into every day. I always love a good model home, Brian, because there's no dirty socks in a model home. They don't have kids who've left their socks strewn across the whole house. So definitely seeing those model homes is a great way to check that out. So,
and what's interesting about Windsong right now is, number one, it has appreciated a ton, right? So a lot of the market has appreciated over the last couple of years, but Windsong Ranch was already kind of a premium neighborhood, and because of all the amenities and everything that it offers, I mean, it's got a cafe. It has a cafe in the middle of the neighborhood. You can get a quick sandwich. I mean, what else?
You love a cafe. You love a cafe. That's right. So
that is pretty good. But there's so the values have gone up a ton, and where we can help, right, is builders are tight. Things are tight right now. And it can be hard to identify when is there going to be inventory, when are there going to be options available. And, I'm helping a client right now in Windsong stay in touch with a builder because for this particular builder, this particular product, there aren't going to be any homes available for a couple of months. So we've got a relationship with the builder and we're staying in touch to make sure that they get one of those homes when they come on the market. And that can be one of the ways that we can really, really help people.
And with the new build, of course you can walk in and you can buy a house without a realtor. But honestly, honest to God, before we became realtors, before we did anything in this industry, we had bought our first house and no one helped us with the selection of the floor plan, the lot location, how much money to put into this house. And that was our first house. We just did it off our own knowledge, lost our butts on that house.
I think the reason why is we go through a model home and not everybody has vision, right? Not everybody has vision for the way things are going to come together, the way things are going to look. And that's me. I got no vision. Tisha's got vision. So when you see something in my home, you're like, I gotta have that, and I gotta have this, and I gotta have that. And you can over improve a house, right? I was prepared to spend a fortune because I wanted all the upgrades, and you don't need it in most cases, and it doesn't make sense financially. So now obviously I've got a much different perspective on things and much more knowledge. And then, you bring the expertise. So
that's important when you're looking at a new build, use a realtor. But now that there are so many houses built in that area, there really are a lot of existing homes to purchase in that neighborhood as well. So, and they're all pretty new homes. And so you have a lot of options in Windsong Ranch. Let's talk a little bit about just some of the amenities that they offer in Windsong Ranch. I mean, we can kind of spend all afternoon. It blows you away, right?
Yeah, let's just talk about the big thing that we haven't brought up yet. There's a lagoon. People, there is a lagoon in the middle of the neighborhood. I'm actually showing and sharing a picture of that right now. There's a massive lagoon right there in the middle, but it's just a massive multi-acre lagoon, 5-acre lagoon. It's 8 feet deep, if you can believe that. So they've got everything from, you certainly can swim there, but they've got kayaking, they've got yoga classes, they've got crazy stuff going on in that lagoon. So goodness, and that's just one of the many amenities that they have in Windsong.
Yeah, they have over 600 acres of green space. They have creeks and ponds. They have miles, like I mentioned, miles of hike and bike trails. They've got, they're going to have an 18-hole disc golf course.
Well, and in terms of location, so they've got that disc golf, and then in terms of location, it is just across the street, just across 380 from the PGA headquarters. So there are going to be several golf courses just around the corner when that hits, and so there's both amenities on property and stuff that's just right around the corner.
And you know what? One of the fastest growing community sports around is pickleball.
Yes.
And so they have pickleball courts, they've got basketball courts, they've got tennis courts, all just, and I don't know if Brian's mentioned it, but they have a cafe, fitness center, dog park. I mean, it's like living in a resort.
Well, and so when that becomes important is, so in today's world, right, there was a time when people drove to the office, maybe they drove to the airport and flew out, but now so many people are working from home. Having more stuff close to home is super important, right? You're living and working where you live. You need to have grocery stores nearby. You need to have activities nearby. And there's a grocery store just almost right outside the front door of Windsong Ranch. It's, it's a little bit farther, but it's just a few miles from areas in Frisco called Legacy and Legacy West, which is really all of the shopping and dining that anybody could ever need.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Great shopping and tiny areas over there in Legacy. I mean, we head over there from our location, and so really easy to get to. So yeah, Windsong Ranch, it's blowing up out there. A fabulous, beautiful place to live.
One other thing to mention is the schools that are in Prosper ISD. And before we go any further, we always insert disclaimer here that you should do your own research. We actually use a site called niche.com, that's NICHE.com, to get these ratings, and Niche gives them an A+.
Woo, that is a hot score for sure. For us, when we're thinking about placing people in different neighborhoods or whatever, whether or not you have school-aged children, we always look at the schools in the area because they do make a difference with resale. So if you're picking between two houses and one has a much better school district, it's a good bet that one would be a better buy long-term.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly right. So, and then we did want to mention that Windsong Ranch is in really the northernmost corridor of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. It's kind of, if you're heading straight north up the Dallas North Toll Road, you're going to keep going. You're going to drive through, originally where it ended was in Plano, and then it extended to Frisco, and now it's extending really to Oklahoma. But you don't have to go quite that far to get there. But you're gonna stop at the corner of the Tollway and 380. Take a little right. 380 is a corridor between Denton and McKinney, which is also speaks highly to the location of Windsong because there's great roads, great traffic. McKinney's a great spot to shop in addition to Frisco, as I mentioned before. So pretty good spot. That also leads us to the con that maybe you want to talk about it, because I know this is one that is a burr in your bonnet.
Yes, well, it's very new out there where Windsong Ranch is, like Brian has mentioned several times. And it does, the main road that you come out of and that you drive on is 380. And it's I like to call it a highway, okay? Because it is, it's zooming. It's not a highway, but it is a zooming road. There's a lot of traffic. And if you want to avoid like really heavy traffic, you can't really do that up in Windsong Ranch because you have to hit that 380. And
that would be at 3 a.m. would be the
that would be at 3 a.m. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's really still on the outskirts. Everything's building up there as fast as possible, but it's like a little thing here and there. Like Brian said, they were smart enough, they put in the grocery store, and you're seeing things pop up, like a new movie theater popped up around there. And they do these pop-up shopping centers here that have like your TJ Maxx in it and your Best Buy and that kind of stuff. So they're popping up that stuff around there, but it's still a little further out. It's from the Dallas area, so that's a con as well. So
yeah, it probably won't be long. So the traffic is going to be nuts, and it's only going to get worse for the foreseeable future. It probably won't be long before you see a lot more amenities, because as I mentioned, the PGA headquarters is coming, and that's going to bring a lot of business and a lot of development. And there is the same developer from Windsong has announced a neighborhood as large, actually a little bit larger than Windsong, is going to be immediately north of that. So that one's actually in Salina, and so there's going to be booming growth in that area. With that comes amenities and shopping and all the things that make an area awesome. It's not there yet, so still a little time left before that happens. But many reasons why Windsong Ranch is one of the best neighborhoods in Dallas. So let's talk about the other side of the coin and hit Canyon Falls in Northlake.
Yeah, so if you want to know some of the pros of Canyon Falls versus Windsong Ranch, stay with us so we can share all of the fun stuff with you. This is another neighborhood we love. Canyon Falls. We absolutely love this neighborhood. I'm going to say one of the things that I really enjoy about Canyon Falls is I think it's just such beautiful terrain. I think they did such a good job planning out the trails, the trees, the landscaping. It's got a very like hill country flair to it. This is a little video here. Oh, dog parks are in there. And I think they've done just such a good job making a great family feel. See, they put trails in there that aren't just sidewalks. Sometimes they put, hey, this has trails. Well, that's just a sidewalk. It's called a sidewalk, And Canyon Falls did a really good job with that, really making it beautiful. Hiking, you got your dog park, you got biking.
Yeah, Canyon Falls isn't, from a ground perspective, isn't as large as some of the other neighborhoods, like we've talked about Windsong Ranch, but it is near 1,200 acres. So it is still a big master plan community. And one of the things they've done such a good job of is, I think it's got, of the 1,200 acres, 200 of that is reserved for green space. Yeah. 200 acres. That's a lot of green space. So it's still got a very natural feel. Tish and I lived in Austin, Texas for a number of years, and Canyon Falls really has an Austin feel. There's something about the landscape choices. There's rolling hills, not like West Austin rolling hills. It's not the hill country, but some nice rolling hills, trees, and terrain, which make the Canyon Falls beautiful.
It's also interesting too. There, you have a lot of amazing builders there too. Some of the builders are going to be the same that you have, and I think Canyon Falls only has they'll be around a couple more years with new builds, and then they'll be finishing out with new builds. So if it's definitely an area you want to get a new build in, now's a great time to do that. But they have some amazing builders out there as well. Bella Claire is one of them that you had just talked about, put a fabulous new model home out there to check out. Lots are moving very quickly where they have those. What's nice about that is they have a couple builders out there who are building on 100-foot wide lots. And that is hard to come by in master plan communities. And so they're nice sprawling lots and building some really beautiful houses. Drees is one of those. Also one of our favorites, Perry Homes, which we talk about often, is building out there on the larger lots.
Yeah, there's a ton of beautiful, beautiful builders. You know, one of the things about Canyon Falls is it has a little bit lower entry point than we've talked about Windsong Ranch. It's you can get you can still get in there in the 400s, which can be really challenging in the Windsong Ranch area. So there are a wide variety, and we love a variety of homes and neighborhoods for a couple of reasons. Number one, people, when they get into the entry level, they've got options, right? So it's great to be able to see people and families move and move up, right? When they've got an option to move or build a more expensive, maybe a more luxury home. So homes in Canyon Falls are ranging from the 400s all the way up into the 7 figures. So, Tisha just mentioned, Drees and Perry and I think even Windmiller is building some really cool homes on larger, even 100-foot lots that are now into the 7 figures. So you've got a wide range. That makes it interesting, honestly. When you're driving through a neighborhood, all the houses don't look alike. So there's, you've got choices. Again, with the terrain, it just makes a really nice looking neighborhood.
And I'm not going to lie, Brian, there is a house in there I would buy today. You might have to fight me for it. It is a single level house. I'm preparing for the empty nest because we will be empty nesters here within a couple of short years. Ooh. But there is some beautiful single level house that's available right now that's right in that $1 million range on that 100-foot lot. So much storage, lots of cabinets, beautiful home out there. And so really now is a great time to get into Canyon Falls because, like I said, they're really moving houses quickly out there and probably only have a couple more years of inventory to build. So one of the things that we really do like to talk about, and we talked about with Windsong Ranch, is schools, because at Canyon Falls, they do kind of have an interesting school situation, which is important to know about, very important to know about before making a decision in Canyon Falls.
Yeah, so it's a little bit wacky. The situation in Canyon Falls, it's actually in 3 different city municipalities, right? So most often we talk about it being in Northlake, in Flower Mound, in Argyle, and it also lands in 2 different school districts. So it lands in Argyle ISD and in Northwest ISD. And so that's important for a whole lot of reasons. The first thing I talked about is important for property taxes, right? Different cities and different municipalities have different property tax rates. That means your cost of ownership is going to be different depending on where your home is, and that's super important. And then, as Tisha mentioned, the schools, since it's in Argyle ISD and Northwest ISD, for different reasons, those things might be important to you. So Argyle ISD is the #1 ranked district in Denton County. Again, we always talk about, anytime we talk about schools, we want to make sure that you do your own research. We've pulled our research from a site called niche.com. You can also go to greatschools.org to get information. Honestly, I'd encourage you to check them both just to make sure that you're getting it good. But niche.com ranks Argyle ISD as the #1 district in Denton County, and I think it's number 9 in all of Texas. Texas is a big honking state, so number 9 in Texas that's pretty good.
Yeah, you have Northwest ISD. So Northwest ISD, according to niche.com, is the #3 best school district in Denton County. So that's still really pretty high up there. It has a 95% parent satisfaction rating, which I do like that. It's a very fast growing school district, and it really has interestingly enough, it's very highly rated for music education. So if that's something that's important to you, you want to know which schools go to which. If you just pick a house in Canyon Falls and go, oh, we want to go to Northwest ISD, guess what? You can't just do that here in Texas. You have to be zoned for a particular school district based on where your house is. So it's so important that you ask these questions and work with someone who knows what questions to ask.
Well, and that's super important that you point out because a lot of people don't know that. So Texas is a little different, and then you got to be mapped to the right school. So one thing we haven't talked about in terms of Canyon Falls is the location. And we talked a little bit about the city, but people don't necessarily know where Argyle or Northlake are. Canyon Falls is in the northwest corner of Dallas-Fort Worth. It's kind of going to be evenly split. It's about 40 minutes from either Dallas or Fort Worth if you're going downtown. You can get to the DFW airport a little faster, and it's going to take you 30-ish minutes. You know, you're probably 15 minutes from downtown Denton. It's super close. It's one of the closest suburbs that are really fast growing to get to Fort Worth. So it really is in a pretty good location. That's actually going to lead us to one of the downsides.
So Canyon Falls, as we mentioned, is rapidly growing. They are selling houses like hotcakes out there. But currently in the little corridor that it falls in, there's not much around it. It's like a neighborhood popped into this big, beautiful piece of land, and there's no grocery stores or shops or anything right around there. You know how I mentioned with Windsong Ranch that they put a grocery store right outside of the neighborhood? And not so much with Canyon Falls. Because it falls in Argyle mainly, Argyle is just really proud to be kind of a smaller country feel area. And so Argyle likes to kind of keep small and not have big grocery stores and shops right around there. And so when you come out of Canyon Falls, you're going to be taking about a 10-minute drive, which is not bad. You could get to Roanoke area, which is a very popular, booming area just a little south of there, and you can hit a lot of shops right there. You could go another 10 minutes from there, be to Southlake. Southlake's one of our premier areas here in the DFW area. Or you can head east and you could go over to the Lantana area, which has a large grocery store, or you could venture just a little past there towards shopping, and that's about 20 minutes past there to the square, which we have a lot of a little outdoor mall. So you're about 10 minutes from the good stuff, about 20 minutes from the really good stuff. And so if you don't mind a little bit of a drive, you're still getting amazing price points out in Canyon Falls, but just know you're not going to have the convenience of stores right around the corner, which is an important factor to me.
You forgot that you're just 10 minutes from us. That was the most important.
Right. So if you move to Canyon Falls, you're just about 10 minutes from us because we live right in the Lantana area. So, but yes, so that's a little bit. Oh, I will say though, a lot is building up around there. And honestly, I didn't talk about going west from Canyon Falls. If you go west on Canyon Falls, there's a massive growth area there up the North 35 corridor. And so it's very close to that corridor. A lot of amazing things are popping up from there. You go about maybe 10 minutes south on I-35. They put in a huge outlet mall down there, a Buc-ee's. Do you know what a Buc-ee's is? Buc-ee's. If you've never seen a Buc-ee's and you see one, you must stop there. So a lot of shopping and stuff down that section.
So I mean, there are just so many reasons that Canyon Falls is an amazing neighborhood. It's an amazing neighborhood, and really it's one of the best neighborhoods in Dallas. So if you'd like to talk more about your home search, those neighborhoods, other neighborhoods, maybe that you got questions. If you got questions about how property taxes work or how the school district maps work, then we can help you with all of that stuff. We'll drop a link in the comments so you can connect with us and we can talk more about that.
I'm just going to say Dallas, Texas is an awesome place to live. We are so lucky that we have amazing neighborhoods out here to compare. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're going to be talking about other awesome neighborhoods that you can consider when moving to Dallas, Texas.
You know what? If you are moving to Dallas, then we're your people. And just to wrap things up, we would tell you that we want you to know that God is good, that Jesus has forgiven you, that you are loved, and everything is possible.